What is going on, everyone's? We here and we back with another episode of
Is my point valid?
Yes, indeed. I'm yours truly, Brandon D.
And I am Camille A. Stocker.
And today's topic is going to be
It's the white man's fault.
It's always the white man's fault. Everything. It don't matter what you do. It don't matter what actions you take in your life. You can always blame it on the white man. I know I ain't the only one who tired of this doggone narrative. I know I ain't the only one that's tired of hearing grown behind people cry about a system that ain't doing what they wanted to do while simultaneously recognizing that this system has never did what they wanted them to do. It's crazy. We're going to listen to Mr. Nuri Muhammad, or however you say his name. We're going to listen to him do some crying on the Cam Newton show. And let's get into it.
It's never before slavery.
Hold up.
Dressed in Black History Month in the educational system, it's never before slavery. It's always from the plantation to the present or the cotton field to the current. You never learned about Imhotep or Mansa Musa or the Nile Valley civilization or Timbuktu or the lost city of Atlantis. We don't learn anything about what we were before we were kidnapped and brought to America.
Kidnapped? My boy. Kidnapped? That's a strong word.
A lot of people use that word because I think it justifies that, hey, these white people came in and they took us, which now we know that that's not true. There was participants from the fellow Africans of those slaves who sold them for good.
I had somebody in the comments, this woman say, they didn't sell they didn't sell their own people. Africans are Africans. If you're African selling another African,
that's your people.
That's your people. It don't matter if y'all saying from the same tribe. Y'all know y'all like to group black people in. So let's group Africans together. They all the same. They all African. That's they people.
Yeah, I guess they're trying to say different tribes, but those tribes, the bigger tribes, are picking smaller tribes
to get tribed on.
They weren't kidnapped.
Let's proceed with Mr. Nuri Muhammad.
And Westernized and Caucasianized. We don't learn about what we used to be before we were brought here. We learned about the accomplishments of a slave under the slave master, or about a freedom fighter or a revolutionary who either was killed or their movement was broke. So guess what happens to the mind if all we know about is plantation to the present? What happens is, if we look back and we see...
Hold on. It's your own fault you don't know your own history. Stop blaming these people for not telling you things about your history. You can't dictate what these people tell you. If you want to know these things, you need to teach yourself these things, teach your kids these things. Y'all always crying about they trying to remove history, they trying to remove books. None of these things would matter if you were more concerned with teaching these things yourself.
But we don't even know the real things about Imhotep, Mansa Musa, Timbuktu, like those things. People are, and then also, okay, so I would classify myself as an American. Okay, if you want to be technical, I could say I'm a Black American. So my history, honestly, my history doesn't start in Africa. My history starts on this land. So I would be looking at, if my people were slaves, and I would be looking at that, right? I would be
Americans aren't obligated to start with the history that you want them to start with.
Because everybody...
This is American history. Slavery is American history. Hotep, doggone the lost city of Atlantis, all that stuff, Mansa Musa, that's not American history.
Right.
That's African history.
Right.
So let's reel this thing in and start looking at it logically.
Yes. Like, why, if they're talking about the educational system, why are they teaching that? Well, because it's American history. That's why they're talking about slavery. Like that's why
we got to remove. This man is speaking. This is an emotional response to whatever trauma. And I hate that word. God, dog. That's the stupidest word.
But it's not trauma. It's something that's been taught. It's a narrative that must continue, because if we
I'm
stop,
a victim.
right? If we stop the narrative, because they're saying, well, if you look back at these people and they were doing great things. Okay, cool. They were doing great things. So why aren't you doing great things, period? Why are you marching? Why are you boycotting?
We're not going back.
We're not going back. Why aren't you doing the great thing? Because you think that the great thing must be you being seen. And the great thing could be you having a wife and children, working a job, and that's the great thing. But the great thing is today, I want to be seen.
I need to be on Front Street. You need to see me.
Yeah. No.
I'm doing most right now.
You need to be doing the least.
Straight up. I be telling my partner at work, I be like, bro, when you do the most, end up with the least. He was like, because every time he at work doing the most, he always end up with the least. And I be trying to tell him. But as we proceed with Mr. Neri Muhammad.
Us as slaves, living in mud huts, working from can't see morning, can't see night for free, dressed in burlap. Then we start getting a little apartment, $10 an hour, couple jackets, and think we didn't really came somewhere. Next thing you know, we start talking about we started from the bottom, now we here. But if we could really learn about ourselves, we would say we started from the top, and now we way down here. So
the top of what?
That's not true. That's not true.
Top, and he's about to say that we all kings and queens. No, we're not. Y'all need to stop saying this foolishness. We are not all kings and queens. If that was the case, half of us would be broke today. Where's that? Where? And you can't say, "Oh, the men they stripped us of our culture and all that." Say, stop blaming the white man. Stop blaming the white man. It ain't his fault. Look at the man in the mirror. I keep telling y'all need to listen to doggone Michael Jackson. Tell you, look at the man in the mirror.
In that sense, Black history is a scam that has been offered to give us a pacifier. A pacifier, it looks like
offered by a black man to commemorate another black man.
A nipple, might even feel like a nipple, but no milk is coming out of the pacifier. It's put in the mouth just to put somebody to sleep.
Hold on.
What?
Nipple,
listen.
Plus a pacifier. A pacifier is a scam that has been offered to give us a pacifier. A pacifier, it looks like a nipple, might even feel like a nipple, but no milk is coming out of the pacifier. It's put in the mouth just to put somebody to sleep. And unfortunately, this Black history, the way it's been taught, has put us to sleep.
And you can only
terrible analogy.
That was so weak. And the people in the comments was praising this foolishness. It looks like a nipple. It tastes like a nipple.
Like, yeah, pacifier was made to soothe the baby. The purpose of it is not for milk to come out of it.
And if you are comparing yourself to a baby, you're the problem.
like you go seek here. If you want information, you have to be willing to let go of what you have learned. And that's what I've learned.
You need to unlearn.
You have to unlearn a lot. As I began to homeschool, I was like, wait, why didn't, and then he's talking about the educational system. Well, why didn't I learn this, right? Why didn't I learn about these things?
It's a given. They teach you what they want you to know.
So I've learned a lot through my history studies. And I know that today, in 2025, this sob story of white men have held us back, that can't be anymore, because there's too much there is too much intellect and there's too much knowledge for us to sit around and continue to believe people like this. Well, Black history is not what do you say, a suit, or like whatever. If you, it's a pacifier. If you want your children to know something, then go find books and read about it, and you teach them. It's not left up to the educational system to do that. I don't like.
Even if they are supposed to, you still should not be waiting on someone else to do what you're supposed to do yourself. Simple. If you want them to know, teach them.
And if you don't know, then there's ways for you to teach yourself, so you can
teach them.
Even if you saying something wrong, like
y'all gonna learn together.
Like,
stop listening to Nuri Muhammad and the rest of these doggone Islamic, whatever they are, Muslims.
They're not leading you to salvation. They're not leading you to Jesus.
They leading you to victimhood and excuses and weakness. And that ain't what's up. But
because these are the same people that can keep you down. Like, right? These people, they're in positions where they will feed you negativity. You need to stop doing this, or you shouldn't do this. And you're still stuck where you are. That's bull.
Mm-hmm. Sure is. But like always, man, we're gonna get up out of here. And y'all stay safe. And like always, love, peace, and soul. Like Soul Train, baby.